All right. Somehow this is. I got my base and broadcast thing switched around. Let me adjust this here. All right. So we should be good on volume now. Looks like it's not too low, not too loud. So the Blackstone thing could be partially true or not true at all. Well, that's one of the scams the mafias use. And I say mob, mafia, I mean mob, organized crime. Well, because if you think it's Blackstone, most people, well, you just vote Mondami in, and and then we'll get Blackstone, and then all the immigrants raise the prices of the homes, and you don't get anywhere. Make it worse, maybe. So again, I'm not anti-immigrant. I take care of the immigrant that they put out and try to kill. I take care of the underdog, whether they're a billionaire, trillionaire, or have no money. They're American or foreign. Well, what we have to do is we have to fix it so we get the people back we used to bring in, the ones that are supposed to be here, and then they know how to live a life instead of destroying the base of what we again. Some of the housing prices, and this is one of the things that they changed in the Democratic Party. They were, oh look, these are everyday Americans with a house, and they're going back and they have to finish their retirement home quicker. People are like, wait a minute, I'm on Snap. Wait, what's this? They got two houses, one here, one there. But I'm just telling you, that's why they're doing this. And it's not because they're jealous. They know it's corrupt, and they're being locked out. It's called a lockout system. That's what the word God gave me. In other words, let me show you how this works. I'm buying supplements in Florida, and I'm buying it from a company called The Lockout, or maybe it was in Santa Fe. It's probably both. Lockout Nutrition or something like that. I don't remember. It was firefighters. It's a bunch of firefighters that ran a supplement company, nutrition. And the word Hashem, God, says lockout. That's what the economy is. It's a lockout system. So that's why you put your political party in, and then you lock out the other people. But that's not the way it's supposed to. And that's not what you're running on. Right? But that's what's happening. So if you empower the current immigrant population too much, they're just going to lock people out. And they're going to money launder them, which includes sex trafficking, narcotics distribution, financial fraud. Well, I mean, you have to embrace the truth. So one thing about the CIA, the only thing that's true about the CIA is their motto, the truth will set you free. There's nothing true about the truth in the CIA. So their inception was real, their idea is real, but they're not real. Because they're not truth. And then they'll say, you can't handle the truth. I don't know, it's you that can't handle the truth, CIA. So the idea is that there's a lot of scam and sham. So Blackstone could be part of it. Blackstone could be just, hey, there's money here and we're going to invest. But the mafias go, it's Blackstone. They're the one doing it. But no, it's the mafia in your local city. So what happens is, and we'll pick on Somalis because it's popular. We'll pick on them. And actually, they need to be picked on or it'll get worse for them. So if you're beat up metaphysically or like verbally and you're shamed, then there's a less. Because what's happening is they're going to keep going down because now they're the bad guy. But they earned the title pretty much. I mean, stealing that much money, I mean, from food and kids. And and there's one white woman. Oh, it's the white woman. It's Blackstone. It's not the Somalis. So she's the Blackstone in that story. You have to watch in the Democratic Party because you're making yourself believe something that's a lie. You have a propaganda wing, and so does Republicans. So I'm not telling you that. But Republicans generally know it's bullshit. That's why they were surprised when Trump was getting rid of all the immigrants, because the business owners were like, oh yeah, we always talk about bad about, we talk about the immigrants, and then Trump gets in there, and then we're rich businessmen and women, and it benefits us, because they thought it was bullshit that he wasn't going to get rid of the immigrants at that level. So they would have the immigrants working in their place. Like, wait a minute, these people work for us, Trump. So again, there is that propaganda in the Republicans too. So what's happening is you're believing that you're becoming popular because you're saving the unlawful immigrant. You're not. That's how Trump got in there to begin with. You're not convincing the swing voter. You're just not doing it. You may have some Trump people, and those Trump people, I'll tell you what, jump ship for other reasons. But now they're gonna say whatever you say. So you're not winning by being in the street doing that. So you need to make your people safe and get them out of the street. Now, how do I know that? That's how Trump won in the first place. You put your people in the street. Do you remember 2015, 14, 15, or is that too long ago? Some of you were probably too young to remember that because you were like in 7th grade. That's one problem with bringing young people in. And maybe by design. There may be somebody manipulating them because they forget the past. Because they don't know the past. They don't study history. Right? And they weren't there. So Trump won the first time. Hillary tried to distance herself from it, but it didn't work. So you're not winning. And I'm not hurting the spycraft operators that do this, that are like both sides of the aisle, but corruptly both sides of the aisle, will say that I'm hurting the Republican Party. No, I'm not. We want the ICE people to be able to operate comfortably. We don't want them be in prisoner of war camps all day, being given PTSD. No, it isn't a choice that they should move away, because they're not. Do you understand that? The mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of Minnesota are the reason that woman was killed yesterday. Bottom line. They have a responsibility to be responsible adult leadership in Minnesota. Right? So your propaganda machine, this is the problem with the Democrat Party. Your propaganda machine fools your own people. I don't know if it's a double agent or not, because they're not effectively really doing what you need done. Well, you want to win the presidency. You might pick up some midterm seats. I don't know. You might lose some. I haven't really looked at it. But Trump has some plans for the midterm that may overcome anything that you could do. And that includes probably a stimulus payment of some sort. Although the prices, Trump, they look like they're up. I don't know where you're getting your food price data from. I just went shopping yesterday. Now, I'm not telling you that they're honestly up. They could be, again, the mafia could be artificially raising prices. Obviously, the Democratic Party under Obama moved into Walmart. And they could be raising prices. And again, that's a Kash Patel investigation. That should be investigated. Is there price fixing, political price fixing? I don't blame my team, your team. Because I answer to God. That's my team. Who is my team, your team? But yeah, that's everybody's team, you see. God is everybody's team. Thank you, Larry. Now, Walmart kept, that's one thing under Obama, not Obama, what's his name? Biden. Oh no, I got a Biden disease. What's that guy's name? You can realize my brain works at a high level. So I every once in a while I'm an absent-minded professor. Do you know how that exists? I actually know why the absent-minded professor exists, because they allot so much of their mind to intelligence and calculation that they dump names because it's considered not necessary, or dump whatever thing they don't remember. Right? If you you can prioritize, you can program your brain. I don't know if you know that. I've been telling you that for years. I don't. Well, if I met you in my life, I would, I remember your name. It has a little more reason. Right now, it's useless data. You're just person number one, person number two. Oh, there's another one. There's person number three. So, yeah, your propaganda machines. I mean, you could, but when it comes to the presidency, I don't think so. They're not going to. They want the immigration system fixed. Well, there's people up in arms across the. I'm trying to explain it to you. The people up in arms across the United States are the people that voted for Harris. Of course, they're up in arms. It's part of their political shtick, Right. So you made people believe that Harris was going to win. That was the wrong thing to do. Got your money, but probably lost you the election. Right. You probably lost turnout. Where Trump, he made him think he was going to lose a little bit, and then boom, his turnout picked up. So when you look at the Electoral College, you're not winning that. You haven't moved on that. You may have actually went down further because the swing voter wants quiet. Trump loses some points while being quiet, but if you put people in the street to attack Trump's people, right? No, you just let them. If you let them operate, we wouldn't even barely see them except some immigrant, and the immigrants wouldn't act so childish. Right? Americans don't act that way when they get arrested generally. Maybe it's like the reverse. There's like 5% of Americans that act that way when they get arrested, but there's 5% of the immigrants that don't act that way when they get arrested. And I mean American, citizens. Again, remember, there was no contract with these people to stay. Now, some, yeah, but again, that's just you're going to play that up. That's a small percentage. Right. No, is you stay here till we decide your case. That's all it was. And you figured the Democratic Party figured we'll just make that a long time, and we'll say it's DACA or something like that. Well, the economy that was doing well, a lot of it was the immigrant economy. And yeah, we want them to do well, but we don't want people stealing from us. And I was locked out, and I was locked out by Latinos, majorly Latinos, but others do. Yeah, when I was in Santa Fe, I helped Native Americans and nobody would help. I helped Latinos and nobody would help. They run the charity programs and the rehabs. If they want you addicted to heroin, you don't get in a rehab, do you? See what the scam is? And then they'll mess with your head so you use more drugs. That's part of it. The dirty cops and all sorts of shit. And then, the realtor stuff is dirty cops too. So, like, if you send cops, this is the problem. If you send cops to help the realtors feel comfortable, somebody's going to approach those cops and offer them, maybe $100,000 to screw the whole program up. No, they come by. I mean, if you believe in secret societies and secret society system, you're not going to drop the prices then. No, immigrants are part of the secret society if they have money. People that are in secret society don't care where their money comes from. The majority. Now they might vote a certain way and speak a certain. Again, it's just propaganda for them. So yeah, Blackstone is big enough to have their own, PI mafia, and could be out there. If anybody drops their prices, they could send the PI mafia to harass them to raise prices. But I don't know if that's what it is. It just seems too easy to me because I know that narcotics distributors, sex traffickers, and fraudsters are part of it. That's how they launder their money. So that could be it. So when all these narcotics distributors, sex traffickers bought up all those homes and the prices skyrocketed, you bought up with laundered money, they keep the price up. You're not, if the mob boss finds out you're gonna, the cartel boss finds out you're dropping the price of his home, he'll come and mess with you until you stop, lock you out of the community. You get nothing until you raise the prices of homes. That's what you're really dealing with. So if you're not willing to take on the real issue, then you can't get anywhere. And If the realtor doesn't drop the price, then the price isn't coming down, is it? No matter what you do. See, that's why we can't fix the problems, because the mobs are running the planet and running it into the ground, actually. They're getting richer, but they're killing everything else. And that's why you have the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer. Some of that rich getting richer is immigrants and foreign nationals. So again, don't just point, oh, it's the white people. And I agree, home ownership could cause superiority, but it also causes Latino superiority, Somali superiority, like supremacists, not superiority, but supremacists. Right? So if house ownership causes white supremacy, it probably also causes Latino supremacy, and I know it does, and Somali supremacy. We have videos of people from these cultures speaking out about the takeover. It's not retribution, it's bullshit. Like I tell you, you as a Latino will take the mob concept and run with it because you get something for it. Or if I go with these people, they'll give me something. I don't do that. I work hard for what money I have because really you owe me. You owe me millions. The whole planet owes me millions. Every country on this planet probably owes me millions except for maybe Upper Sabobia. Right. Although some people do work for me inside. You may not know it's me, but so they may not owe me some. Yeah, but they may not get paid either, No, there's people with scumbag Trump that own properties because they want the properties. It's just like the immigrant thing. They want unlawful immigration. They just thought it was something he was using to get into office. Well, because the first time around, his people sold him out. I'm kind of leery of these people that are in these periphery organizations. Like I didn't feel Chad Wolf was real, right? But maybe he is. I don't. But I found out he's still out there in some private sector thing. Thanks, Larry. Now, there are others. I'm just not pointing in it. So when Trump came in the second time, they thought it was going to be fake again. Because that's what these government people are doing behind your back. No, he doesn't want Larry protected like everyone else. You can kill him and make millions killing him still. Because Blackstone pays you. And the Somalis. Oh, believe me, if I was in Minnesota, Somalis would try to kill me. You get a lot of money doing it. Why don't I shut up? Because it doesn't matter. Don't let them tell you it's just about shutting up. It's bullshit. They're paid to murder people. It's not about shutting up. It's paid to murder people. It's not paid to murder people for talking. It started by criminals that wanted to kill me. It started by Russians that wanted to kill me. It started during the Cold War. Russians paid money to have me taken out because I'm the government guy they can't kill. Still standing. I mean, yeah, I'm going to die someday, but... My family's actually supposed to be billionaires. At least my part of the family, me. And then my family would piggyback on that, I guess. Now they sold out. They sold out for, the deep state not attacking them. They're not allowed to help me. I'm lucky to have been able to get to Pennsylvania. If I didn't select Western Pennsylvania, I would have never been here. I didn't even know I could live here. I thought it was the same as Eastern Pennsylvania. Because my brother, they'll operate him. As soon as I think of going to Eastern Pennsylvania, they start messing with my brother. My brother has millions of dollars, and he just gets away. And again, it's not only him; it's also the agents and officers and all that are corrupt. That are working for the narcos. That are working for the Somalis, sex traffickers, and so on. They work for everything that's evil. Well, we have to realize the fact that that's part of the system. And just because somebody has a legitimate job, let's say somebody's a realtor, let's go to a realtor, and they work for the narcotics distributors and the sex traffickers. How is that somebody that's part of our, a well member of our community? They're not. They're putting their own people into bondage. I've rescued, and I've attempted to rescue women out of those things, right? Because, believe it or not, because the federal government decided to assassinate me, I could no longer help people that were in bondage at that level. Because first thing you do is you try to get them out at somebody you want to have a relationship. It's the easiest way to do it. Right? And they used to allow that, but they don't allow it now. Oh, they think they're funny. Believe me, they're landing in hell. Hell is real, but you don't believe it because the church isn't telling you the real story. But Harry Christians won't tell you the real story. And you've went those places and all the religious people are like, sex pots and I'm sexual, but I wanted to be married and have sex in marriage like you're supposed to. There's nothing in the Bible that says if you stay unmarried that you can not be sexual. Actually, the Bible says the reverse. And that's the part where the Jews miss, but the Jewish people in a Jewish society will be married most likely pretty quickly. Unless you're part of being killed by the deep state and their chickens. Most real, like the Orthodox Jews, if you want to be married, you're married. It's almost like, it's a mitzvah to get people married almost. No, they're deciding who marries, who doesn't marry. And then they'll tell you, well, that person should be, but like mafia. But they're, there's more. I'll tell you right now. Remember the guy that was arrested for helping the Russian boss? There's more people than that. They just need the statute of limitations ran. Right. And the FBI knows. Again, they can't investigate all of it because it's the statute of limitations ran, and there's cases where they didn't run and they have to investigate that. But for national security, they investigated a lot of it just to figure out what the hell it was. And the people I work with, again, some were okay, but they're not me. They're not going to help you when you're in trouble beyond a certain point. Right. They have money, and again, it's not only them. There's a lot of people that work in government. The money doesn't make sense at all. But there's nothing that they can do because of the age of it. So that's one of the scams of the deep state. They work in like 5-year blocks. Once they're detected, they have to wait a few years till the statute runs, then they start again. But then somebody else can pick up somewhere else. Oh no, there's people in prison. This is the point. By not shutting up, there was no way for them to make a fake case because I explained the system and it got to enough people. But there are people in prison because of fake cases. Now you'll go, oh yeah, Blackstone. No, your local narco, your local sex trafficker from Somalia, from Nigeria, from fraudster, from Latino countries. So your Latino sex trafficker pays a bunch of people to make false statements, pays the cop, and then they prosecute somebody and they go to prison for 3 years. And they say, any of you do anything like that, spout off to the boss, you'll have the same thing done to you. So again, you want to play my team, your team, it's not going to work. I mean, to have a socialist mayor of New York is no strange feat. The Republicans said, everybody get out of New York. Oh, no, they have a Democratic mayor. You moved to the left with your well, they allowed New York to fall so they could pick up Texas and Florida, pick it up and be more Republican because they were losing Florida. Right. Well, when Obama went dirty, I voted for Obama. When Obama went dirty, I went back to the Republican Party, and then Naples went Democrat. So you see, there's some sort of whammy out there. They kill. It's strange, and I believe it's the people that aren't Democrat or Republican, really. They just, you're Republican, I'm Democrat, and we work together to make money from both sides. Right. And, con this person, con that person. That's how the mafias and the mobs work. So when I was Republican, it went Democrat. When it went Democrat, it went Republican. So I have to be careful who I publicly support. If I hate you, you'll probably be president. So the Democrats could be president. I don't know. No, what happened is the Democrats deceived their own people, which threw off their turnout probably. But again, people were angry at this immigrant issue. I'm trying to explain to you, they won't speak out because, again, a lot of them are swing voters, and they're really quiet generally, and they want quiet. So Hillary lost votes because you put people into the street. And they're looking around and they see that the American dream is being stolen. And again, the Somali community is a good example. That's just, this present day, but also narcos and everything else. You're not going to revitalize your inner city without handling that. And it's not the idea that you put immigrants out, that you get the right immigrants in here and that aren't criminals. And again, they're not criminals. Anybody that comes here illegally is not the quality of person that doesn't come here illegally. Because they're waiting their turn. That's never going to come because these people stole their position. So it's not about immigration. It's about allowing corrupt immigration because some people like it that these are criminals that pay them money or the law